Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. I am Dayanara po. Kung bago po yung channel ko, welcome. So for today's vlog guys, pag-usapan natin yung lumabas na migration strategy nung December 11. I'm sorry medyo late kasi medyo busy tayo and ngayon ko lang talaga nahanapan ng time ngayong Christmas break na basahin yung strategy, particularly with regards dun sa pang-third na key action, which is strengthening the integrity and quality of international education. So, kung interesado po kayo malaman kung ano po yung aking reaction with regards to this, without further ado, let's begin! As mentioned dun sa report, international students contribute 30 billion to the Australian economy per annum and Australia's fourth largest export. At the same time, guys, after New Zealand citizens, international students are the largest component ng temporary migration system and single biggest feeder sa permanent program ng Australia. So, alam naman natin lahat na post-COVID, nung bagong bukas yung border, maraming pumasok ng mga international students dito sa Australia. And alam din naman natin na during that time is unlimited yung working hours ng mga students because inalis yung restrictions. So, kasama dun sa mga pumasok ng mga international students is yung mga non-genuine students na tinatawag natin, na ang main purpose nila is not to study but to actually work. And unfortunately, because of that reason, kaya naghigpit ngayon ang Australia. And meron ding mga ibang issues like yung mga providers na nag-offer ng lower fees and shorter durations ng studies to accommodate itong mga non-genuine students na to. During this year, guys, maraming update na nangyari. Alam naman natin yan. Noong July, binalik na yung working restrictions, but they increase it from 40 hours fortnightly to 48 hours fortnightly, which is good. And at the same time, nung mga bandang September, may mga updates din na nilabas with regards to concurrent study, yung mga ghost schools, yung show money na tinaasan. At the same time, na-mention ulit yung genuine student test. So, with regards dun sa mga changes na nangyari early this year, I believe like preparation pa lang yun sa mga malaking pagbabago na magaganap in the future. And honestly, with regards to this migration strategy na nilabas, ang daming problema na na-mention na gusto ayusin ng migration. And nakakalungkot yung mga problema na ilabas dito kasi na-mention ng exploitation ng mga student visa holders. And then, na-mention guys dito yung mga graduate visa holders na nakatapos ng bachelor's degree or higher na hindi sila nakahanap ng works in line sa natapos nila at nagtatrabaho sila below their skill level. So, because of those problems na wide open na alam na ng lahat, that's why they tried to take actions. And isa na sa mga actions na nagawa nila guys is yung closing ng loophole that allowed international students to switch to lower quality education providers to facilitate work in Australia ahead of study. At the same time guys, isa dun sa mga changes is yun nga, yung sa financial requirement. So tinaasan nila to ng 17%. That's why it's now 24,505. Yun na po yung financial requirement na kailangan. And based sa mga reviews na nakikita kong post sa Facebook, yung mga hinihinga ng S56, yung mga financial requirement na required sa kanila is actually higher than the 24,505 na na-mention sa website. So aside from that existing commitment, dito sa strategy na to, nag-add pa sila ng 6 na bagong commitments, and that includes increase English language requirements to improve the quality of students' educational experience in Australia and reduce potential workplace exploitation. So, as mentioned dito sa strategy, in early 2024, the government will increase English language requirement for student visa and temporary graduate visa. So, if you're applying for the temporary graduate visa from 6.0 na IELTS or yung equivalent guys, tataasan na nila ito to 6.5. And at the same time, kung you're mag-a-apply ka ng student visa and ang requirement before was 5.5, ngayon nag-increase na to 6.0. So, ang next commitment is with regards dun sa applying greater or more targeted scrutiny to student visa applications from high-risk providers. Because of this, i-introduce ng government yung new genuine student test for all international students. Ang aim nito guys is to incentivize applications from genuine students and discourage non-genuine students whose primary intention is to work rather than study from accessing Australia's international education system. Aside dun sa introduction ng genuine student test, may dalawang ministerial directions din na may introduce that will support the integrity of processing in the student visa caseload. Ang first ministerial direction will outline key areas of consideration to support decision makers, including the circumstances of the applicant, such as their academic or career progression, and the usefulness of the intended study to their future career prospects. And the second ministerial direction will focus on the prioritization of processing the visa caseload. So, ang third commitment, guys, is to bolster the Student Visa Integrity Unit in the Department of Home Affairs to reduce misuse of Australia's student visa system. To complement the introduction of the genuine student test, the government daw, guys, is mag-i-invest ng 19 million. Imagine, 19 million yung willing nilang i-invest to fix this problem with regards to non-genuine students. And this investment daw, guys, will allow for greater scrutiny at the point of application to better identify non-genuine students and help build new analytical capabilities to identify students, facilitators, and agents who misuse student visas post-arrival. So, I think that's good na talagang sasalain na nilang mabuti yung mga genuine students from non-genuine students. And at the same time, malalaman na rin nila kung sino yung mga nagmi-misuse ng visa system. So, ang next commitment, guys, is to strengthen requirements for international education providers. I think this is fair lang naman kasi marami ring unscrupulous education providers dito sa Australia. And dapat magkikipit din sila on that end, hindi lang sa mga student visa holders na gustong mag-aral dito. And alam din naman natin na may mga na-news before about ghost schools, and to maintain, I believe, yung integrity and quality of international education, dapat talagang ma-maintain din ng government yung kung sino ba talaga yung mga providers talaga na okay ang education na pinoprovide sa mga international students. So, ang next commitment, guys, is to restrict onshore visa hopping that undermines system integrity and drives permanent temporariness. So, kung nakafollow kayo sa TikTok, alam nyo na issue ngayon tong permanent temporariness na to, and we have different views, and ang masasabi ko lang dito is if you really want to come here and gusto nyo talagang maging permanent, make sure na yung course na aralin nyo have a pathway, and kung gaano man katagal yung aralin nyo, make sure na you have enough money to support yourself, kasi alam naman natin na mahal mag-aral dito sa Australia. And at the same time, guys, hindi porket nag-aral at natapos kayo dito sa Australia is yung course na inaral nyo will lead to a permanent residency. Kasi may mga course talaga na walang pathway, and wala sa course na kukunin nyo dito sa Australia kung magiging permanent resident kayo. Nasa skill nyo, guys, kung mapi-PR kayo. And if you have a way na pumunta dito straight na work visa, much better kasi hindi na kayo magbabayad ng tuition. If wala, if you have the money, the capacity, mag-student visa kayo, and to earn your experience at the same time, to gain that education na kailangan nyo. And according dito sa commitment na to, the government will apply additional scrutiny to international students applying for another student visa. Kasi, guys, nauuso dito yung kung kumuha ka ng course and walang pathway, mag-shift ka to another course, and then kapag natapos yung student visa for hindi enough yung time mo, so mag-a-apply ka na naman ng another student visa. So, yun yung nangyayari ngayon. And for me, huwag kayong matatrap dun sa cycle ng student visa, kasi, guys, napaka-uncertain ng student visa, kasi every year nakikita nyo yung changes ngayon na ang daming pagbabagong nagaganap. Another thing under that same commitment is the government will restrict temporary graduate visa holders from transferring back to student visa while onshore. And according sa Graduates in Limbo report ng Grattan Institute, 32% daw, guys, ng temporary graduate visa holders ay bumabalik sa pag-aaral when their visa expires to prolong their stay dito sa Australia. Diba ang sakit isipin na natapos ka na, nakagraduate visa ka na, and then babalik ka ulit sa pag-aaral. But that's the reality, guys, dito if you don't plan ahead kung ano ba yung magiging pathway nyo pag nag-aral kayong dito sa Australia. So, sa last part ng commitment na to, na-mention doon na the government is also considering other changes to restrict onshore visa hopping where it circumvents offshore processes and will make further announcements early in 2024. So, medyo kinabahan ako dito kasi ano pa yung mga i-announce nila na pagbabago. And I hope hindi maapektuhan yung mga nag-onshore na student visa. Kasi I know people na ganito ang ginawa, na dito na nag-apply from tourist visa. The only risk ng pag-apply ng student visa onshore is, alam nyo na, wala kayong habang naghihintay kayo ng results ng inyong student visa. So, ang last commitment guys is with regards dun sa strengthen and simplify temporary graduate visa. So, dito ako sa part na to guys, na honestly, medyo nanlumo talaga ako, particularly nung nalaman ko na ibababa yung eligibility sa age ng mag-a-apply ng temporary graduate visa from 50 years old to 35 years old kasi I know people guys na nag-aaral na dito na talagang maapektuhan nito. Grabe talaga guys kasi napaka-unfair na nag-aaral na sila dito and by the time na matatapos sila ng course nila, na inaasahan nila ang next visa nila is temporary graduate visa. And then malalaman nila na, ay, hindi na pala ako eligible because of my age. Napaka-unfair, guys. And maraming nagre-reklamo with regards to this one. So, hopefully, itong government approach na to is hindi ma-implement. Cross fingers. Talagang matinding dasal, guys, ang kailangan natin na hopefully hindi talaga maapektuhan, especially yung mga nag-aaral na dito. And at the same time, ang gulo ng government guys. Kasi if naalala nyo, last year, last July, or kailan ba nila nilabas yung list ng mga courses na may extension ang temporary graduate visa. Nakakaloko, di ba guys? Kasi ang sabi doon, if your course is eligible ka to extend your visa to how many years. And then, ngayon, wala na yun. Ang natira na lang dun guys is yung eligibility for a second TGV if you're studying in a regional area. Wala na yung kung natapos ka ng ganitong course, pwede kang mag-extend ng another 2 years. And I'm like, niloloko niyo ba kami? So, yun lang naman. So, for now, yun na lang muna siguro guys, yung aking masasabi dito sa laking update sa migration strategy na to. And I hope nagustuhan niyo yung aking mga reaction. Kasi, ang dami talagang changes na hindi siya pabor sa mga genuine students talaga na nandito na. For example, yung TGV and yung mga non-genuine students is nag-take advantage nung unlimited working hours. That's why everything is getting stricter for those na talagang genuine student naman. Nakakalungkot isipin na because of those reasons, naghihigpit sila. And yun lang muna guys. I hope to see you guys on my next vlog. Bye-bye!